Hi guys, welcome back to another video. On Monday, Prime Minister Boris in England announced that everything is opening up in England. And a few days later, our first Prime Minister in Wales announced that unfortunately for Wales, we're gonna have to stay with how things were until the 7th or the 9th of August. But anyway, sometime that's another 4 weeks for us, which is fine. 4 weeks is not too bad. We can still do 4 weeks after doing like almost 2 years. Anyway, but this is not what this video is all about. Okay, we all know that things are starting to open up all around the world, or at least in England and in Wales. We're just gearing to opening up and things are going to go back to normal, whatever that normal is going to be. And I thought it would be a brilliant idea to actually do this video now before we actually open up, because I've got 5 things I need to share with you guys that I truly believe, or at least I am going to be doing going forward. I'm going to normalize going forward after everything opens up. And yeah, I'm gonna try and do this to be as normal as possible, just to protect my energy, because I felt like with the lockdown there was a lot of shift, especially when it came to people's energy and what's good for our energy and what's not good for our energy. So the first one that I'm going to share with you guys, it's the effects that obviously the pandemic had on our mental health. And a lot of people did struggle during the lockdown, because to distance yourself from your friends, from your family, from the things that you like doing, as simple as like going swimming, or just going to do some shopping, retail therapy. A lot of people really struggled with this, and it put a lot of pressure on our mental health. And even those who were not clued up about like mental health, like it became like, you gotta know, you gotta protect your you gotta be clued up about the importance of mental health, like keeping yourself like well mentally. So I think for me going forward, one of the things really I'm gonna normalize is to make sure that I always go in check, like check up with my mental health. If whatever is happening around me, is it good for my mental health or is it not good? And I've got pandemic to thank for that, because so many things we were taking for granted, like the mental health, and the people that thought they were the strongest, were the one probably who suffered. And I almost came crashing down, because towards the end I couldn't handle it anymore. And I'm one of those people that believes that mentally I'm very sort of like strong. But this pandemic did showed me some flames, and I'm gonna put my hands up and just say, you know what, it is what it is. But I'm so grateful for having to go through it as well, because then I know when to ask for help, when to take a break, when to protect my my mental health. I hope I make sense with that. Right, point number 2, which is obviously linked into our mental health. I have learned, and I'm gonna take this forward going forward, with when things opening up, and like pandemic or no pandemic, it's okay to not be available. As human beings, we feel like we get embarrassed, or we always think that it's not okay to say no, I'm not available, or to say no to family, or even friends. And the pandemic has forced us to obviously to be in that position, or to learn to say no, I'm not available, or no, to say no to family members. And that was another thing that I really struggled, like saying no to my family members. Those who know me and know me very well, they know that I can't say no to family members, But during this pandemic, I had to put my foot down and just learn to say no. And that is another thing I'm going to be normalizing going forward. I'm going to say no to a lot of people and to a lot of things, and be at peace with it, that it's okay to say no. So hopefully you can be one of those people as well who can learn to say no, because you can't just say yes to everything to try and please everyone. You know, life doesn't work like that. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, is to learn to protect your space. If I'm saying space, like your home. While we're in the middle of the pandemic, or while we're going through the pandemic, we learned that people couldn't just turn up to your house, you know, unannounced. I come from a culture where you don't have to make an appointment when you're coming to visit somebody. You can just drive up or walk up to my door, knock, 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 and just say, I've come from a cuppa, you know, and I'll make you a cup of tea, or you open the cupboards and make yourself a cup of tea. And sometimes such things, we do not realize how much impact they bring to our lives. Guys, there are people out there who can bring negativity into your space, into your home, and it leaves you wondering, oh my God, what happened? Because they'll come by, and as a usual visits, they go. The next thing, you're fighting with your husband, you're fighting with your partner, you know, there's like a bit of issues, which really means they've come with their negative energy and they've left that negativity into your space. We need to learn to protect our spaces. We need to learn to protect our homes. Make your home, I'm not saying don't let people visit you. You know, you need to select certain people, you know, whether it's karma or whatever you think it is. You gotta have to think for yourself, like who brings a negative energy into your life or into your space, you know, and make a decision from that. For me personally, that is, since we've been in lockdown, I've been at so much peace with myself, not just with myself, but within the family, the home environment, that I want to keep it that way. But I'm not saying I'm not going to have friends coming over, or, you know, family members coming over. It's all going to be a try probably at the beginning. I'm not going to know, but I know what I need to do. Since I'm going to learn to say no, it's going to go hand in hand, because nobody's just going to turn up at my house and just say, I've come from a cup of tea, or I've come to check up on you. I'm not saying people need to do appointments, but I hope you get, like, you understand what I'm trying to say, how important it is, like, to protect your space, protect your home environment, because people, there are some people there with bad vibes, like bad energy, and that is so easily, you know, transmitted, just like this COVID. I'm only joking. Anyway, point number 4, we need to learn to distinguish between a work relationship and a personal relationship, right? The reason I'm saying this, people always confuses the relationship they have with their colleagues. And then it got mixed up as if now you're friends, when you should separate these two. Don't bring your colleagues into your home environment. And also don't bring your home environment to your work. I'm not saying don't talk about what's happening at home. Obviously, you choose the people you talk about at home. But there are certain aspects of these two that should not meet. Because 1 minute you're working with people 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 24 hours a day. And then the next thing, the very same people, you are bringing them into your home space. So you can't really differentiate between those two. And if you've had clashes in work, you're taking those clashes, that negativity into your home space, you know, and you're thinking these people should be my friends. No, it's totally different. I'm not saying, obviously, if you've been friends with somebody and then suddenly you end up working in the same space or in the same job, you should stop being friends. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about people that you've already met in work, and you spend so much time that you now crossing the wires. You thinking just because I'm spending time with those people, they my friends. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to separate your friends or your personal life with your work, and don't mix the two, because it always bring problems. Trust me when I say that, it always bring problems. I'm sure there'll be more people that will put their hands up and say, you know what, I think you're right. So just learn to separate. If you haven't got friends outside of work, pick the right people to associate yourself or to socialize with outside of work, because it's so easy for people in work to know what's going on in your personal life. The next thing, it's starting to affect you. So that's point number 4. And then point number 5, that I'm going to be taking forward, or something that I've learned during this lockdown, is how important alone time is. How important alone time brings that wellness to your whole being. It is very important that you take time out of your family life, out of your work life, out of everything that you do, and you take time for yourself. That's very, very important. I know there are certain people that can't spend time alone, or either they're scared of spending time alone. Honestly, you need to try and do, even if it means you book yourself for a spa or you take yourself to dinner on your own, but it is very important. We've seen how much, for those especially who worked throughout the pandemic, like I'm talking about your frontline workers, it was too much to be in work. Then you needed in work, you needed at home, and then you had no time to yourself. On top of that, we're in the middle of the pandemic. So if before you did not learn to have the alone time, I think it's time to normalize that going forward. Make sure that it's something that you bring forward, and just say, okay, with things easing up and things getting back to normal, let me make sure at least once a month, or once every 2 months, or once every 3 months, you know yourself, you can decide for yourself, like which is going to be enough. Is it once a month, once every 2 months, once every 3 months? I need to have an alone time. And then you can also decide, what is that alone time going to be? Is it going to be you going for a spa, going for dinner, going for a massage, going for alone on a trip? Or you decide for yourself. You know yourself very well. It could be, okay, this coming Friday, I'm going to get myself a nice bottle of wine or gin and tonic. I'm going to have a big bowl of popcorn, and I'm going to sit in my lounge alone, not taking phone calls. If you've got kids, ask hubby to take the kids away, or take your kids to your mother-in-law or your father-in-law or your sister, and just have an alone time. Take the me time. It's very, very important. So those are the 5 things I am going to be normalizing going forward, to actually protect my energy, because during this pandemic, a lot of my energy has been disturbed by so many things, and we all obviously experience the pandemic differently, depending if you were working throughout or not. I was one of those people that were working throughout the pandemic, and my energy really, really got a little bit disturbed. But some of these things, even though I had to do them because of the pandemic, for me personally, these are the 5 things I'm going to be continuing, or I'm going to make them normal going forward, as obviously we come out of the pandemic. I know the pandemic is not finished, but things are starting to get back to normal. I hope this video have been very helpful, and it also did make sense. If you have any questions, just leave them down below on the comment section, or you can DM me on my Instagram. I post videos every Wednesday, and if there's any kind of content you want to see me create for you guys, just let me know, obviously through DM on my Instagram, which is @nontoli, or you can leave me a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe, and also hit that bell so that you get notified every time I post a video. I am going to see you guys on my next video.